Most of Nintendo Switch is a story with a happy ending. Nintendo has been really great this generation. Yet there's one aspect, one subgenre of Nintendo Switch games that is more of like a tragedy. It's going this way, downward instead of upward, and this new rumor just... I'm all sorts of worried. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. We've got a big new breaking news Nintendo Switch rumor for 2023 about what the next Mario game is, and it leaves me very worried. Now, at the beginning of the Switch life cycle, I would have said I'm excited, I'm geeked for any Mario thing. After Mario Odyssey released, I would have said the same thing. After Mario Tennis Aces released, I still would have said the same thing. And that's where things started to take a downturn. And let me know in the comments if you noticed this, if you agree with this, because I think it's undeniable. Mario sports games have been up and down. They've been a mixed bag from their inception. There's been some really high highs and some really low lows and some completely forgettable titles that many people didn't enjoy. Now, the Switch tried to change things up by giving us a banger right off the bat. Except it wasn't a bat, it was a tennis racket, Mario Tennis Aces. Now, what made this game substantially better than its predecessor is, unlike Mario Tennis on the Wii U, this had a true single-player mode, or as close to a true single-player mode as you're going to get in a tennis game, where you're moving around the map, completing challenges, and it added a lot of content, a lot of value, and a lot of time to a title that otherwise is just a sports game. Now, it helped that the gameplay was great, and it helped that the online mode and tournaments were fantastic. They had a great roster. It played great. It was early on the Switch when games were like, yeah, we want more Switch games. Fantastic title. And instead of replicating that, from there, it just went down. So when I saw this new rumor about the next Mario game being a Mario sports title, I was like, oh gosh. And this comes from Zippo. And, you know, Zippo has been up and down. But in an era where Nintendo leaks are not flowing like they used to, I want to look closely at everything. Supposedly, Bandai Namco and Now Entertainment are working with Nintendo to bring a new Mario Baseball, Mario Sluggers, Mario Superstar Baseball, and Now Entertainment has worked on Sonic Riders. Bandai Namco has worked on Mario Baseball in the past. They also worked on the previous Mario Baseball game, so they have pedigree with the series, and they most recently put out Pac-Man World Remake on Nintendo Switch, which I didn't play but heard good things about. And this would just be a partnership to help put a title out for Nintendo Switch and give the development elsewhere like they do with Camelot and some of the other Mario sports titles. Now, there's another part of the rumor/leak that I will point out, but I do want to tell you, to me, it seems like a nothing burger. Zippo indicates that there's an updated Daisy render on Nintendo's website, and it's Daisy with a baseball glove. So it's from Mario Super Sluggers, and it's an updated Daisy to match the skin tone of her more recent appearances. And he even says that this isn't really evidence per se, but it's something worth pointing out, specifically the fact that Daisy does have a baseball glove, and perhaps they are prepping models for an upcoming baseball game. I think tying this rumor of Mario Baseball to a render of Daisy with a baseball glove is kind of purely coincidental, and Nintendo just uses renders of its characters because they're their characters. But alas, maybe this is another bit of secret sauce that Nintendo spilled without actually intending anyone to figure it out. Now, there's an interesting side to this, which is that it's going to have guest characters, and we'll touch on that in a minute, including who Zippo has heard is in the game, sort of Smash Bros. Style. But the big concern here is, look at where we went. We started at a high point with Mario Tennis Aces. We moved to Mario Golf, right? Mario Golf Super Rush had an interesting idea with the Super Rush mechanic. It had a decent single player, and then the DLC really bolstered the courses along the way. Started out with a small group of like so-so courses, but then added New Donk City and really fleshed them out, and flushed out, I guess, the mediocrity and brought it to a high level. So you have Mario Tennis Aces, and then Mario Golf is pretty good. I don't think it was received anywhere near as well as Tennis Aces, but it's still pretty good. And then we get the big announcement that Mario Strikers is back. Battle League is booming, and it's the big one. This is the Mario sports game that everyone has wanted back since the original GameCube release, myself included. So pumped. You can go back to the beginning days of SwitchForce in 2016, and the most wanted game I always said was a new Mario Strikers. And the game is great, don't get me wrong. They just forgot the content. That game is so bare bones. It's online and like a single player tournament, and they added some characters and some stadiums, and there's a little bit of loot, but it's really basic, and there's just no value there. There's not a lot of content, and it's weird to see the bike ride down the slope. They're like, wow, it's great with tennis aces. Okay, it's a little worse than Mario Golf, and now we're here at Strikers, and we just don't know what to do. It feels very strange. It feels like they either got greedy or they got quick with it. They didn't have the time, they didn't have the resources, or they just felt like it wasn't important. But I believe reviews and overall mindset about these Mario sports games indicates that it's super important to have content. One of the biggest criticisms of these Mario sports games is not that they're not fun, not that they don't look good, not that they don't have great online, it's that they don't have content. Now, Mario Baseball is really, really ripe to do it again, and maybe even worse somehow than Mario Strikers. The most recent Mario Baseball game was Mario Super Sluggers on the Wii back in 2008. This received a 69 on Metacritic, which is very low for a Mario game, even a Mario sports title, but it's because the game didn't really improve on much from the GameCube original. It didn't really add much, it didn't feel as good as Wii Sports Baseball, and it seemed like a cash-in from Nintendo and Bandai Namco. Now this is 14, 15 years ago, and it felt kind of bare bones then, especially after the Mario Superstars Baseball release in 2005, which felt like a good start to this series. It got a 76 on Metacritic. I love that game. I actually did like a tournament, a home run derby at a Game Rush, which was Hollywood Video's game store that was attached to Hollywood Video, and Mario Baseball, me and my brothers like practiced a lot and had a ton of fun. My brother won this really cool Who Are You Nintendo hoodie. But the fact that they followed up with a bare bones effort, and now we've seen even more bare bones effort on Nintendo Switch, does not bode well. Especially if they're bringing in guest characters, you could see this being a Mario sports game, a Mario baseball game, where you play baseball. Basically following the same pattern established by Mario Strikers Battle League, where the online is the center focus, maybe as it should be, but then the single player is not really there. There's not much more to go off besides playing baseball, which is fine, and it could be fun, but it's going to be a value burn at a full $60 price point. Now, I will say that Mario Baseball back on the GameCube had an interesting sort of single-player mode that me and my brothers, again, thoroughly enjoyed. And I'd love to see them bring it back because it was sort of similar to what they did with Mario Tennis Aces on Switch. And if they could build and combine what they did in Tennis Aces with what they began in Mario Superstar Baseball, we could be in for the best Mario sports game. But the trajectory does not bode well, and I feel worried that Nintendo, especially as the Switch ages, is going to look for cash-ins over truly trying to bring the greatest game they possibly can. Now, maybe that's against the Nintendo MO that they always believe in quality, that seal, they just seal it on there. But look how fast they ran away from Animal Crossing once they got their dollars. Look how the Mario sports games have depleted in content after they knew that they would sell so well. Look at the Switch's performance and how we fear they may not even care about upgrading the graphics because, hey, it sells so well and does so well, who needs more power anyways? Well, I'll tell you what, if we get a third Mario sports game on the decline, it's going to be a big problem for Mario sports going forward. The subgenre is going to suffer because we started at a level that showed what they could be. And maybe Nintendo was in the wrong for flipping it. They should have done like Strikers and then Golf and then Tennis Aces and be like, okay, we can build, because it feels weird to go backwards for the same price point. I hope that if this rumor ends up being true and we do get Mario Baseball this summer, which feels very likely, Nintendo loves their Mario sports games, they love to put them out, and I could see them saving whatever big Mario title they have for the fall. They put out Mario Baseball close to the movie, and then, hey, you have a Mario game. Maybe it's not the mainline Mario, but you have something to sell at Walmart and Target and Best Buy. Now, Zippo says, waka 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 waka, do you hear that noise? And hints that guest characters could be in the game, obviously teasing Fozzie, but no, Pac-Man. It's Bandai Namco, so Pac-Man would make sense. He already has been greenlit by Nintendo for Super Smash Bros., so putting him in here would be cool. Could they get a lot of other characters that also have lent their talents to Smash in Mario Baseball Switch? That would be fantastic. Seeing Kirby and Captain Falcon would be absolutely pristine. Would it cover up for a lack of content, a dearth of modes? Not entirely, but it would make this the most interesting sports title in a long time by bringing in such a wide cavalcade of characters. The Mario sports games are good at bringing in small characters from the Mushroom Kingdom, but they rarely, if ever, venture outside those boundaries. So if we could get an Inkling playing baseball and Link playing baseball and Pac-Man, now we're talking. Now maybe you have a way to cover up for the basic baseline that baseball provides as a game foundation, although I still think they need to do more. Mario Baseball as a 2023 big Nintendo release, are you buying it? Are you waiting for content? Or has Nintendo already burned the bridge for you on Mario sports games after 3 strikes and you're out, even though Tennis Aces is really good and the other ones aren't horrible? I had to use the baseball pun. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, everybody. I'll be keeping tabs on this. It's something that could be announced as soon as a couple of weeks at the February Direct, which we're expecting on Wednesday, like maybe February 8th or February 15th. This could be one of the big surprise reveals. And I do think guest characters would move some mountains, small mountains, baseball stadium sized mountains, not, Mount Fuji or anything like that. But we'll have to wait and see. It feels inevitable that Mario Baseball will come to Switch. I just hope Nintendo learns from their trajectory and doesn't continue to follow it. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Until next time, SwitchForce out.